Hi folks, I'm making another video today and I wanted to show everyone my method of doing bone broth. I've watched a lot of different videos on bone broth. You can see inside here, just stir it up a little bit just so you can see. Here's the bone broth, it's finished. Big pieces of bone, and I've got some carrot in there, onions, that type of thing. So let me pan this down a little bit more so you can see. It's got a lot of fat in there. The bones have sunk down to the bottom. They're down in there. But basically, from watching a lot of videos on this, everybody shows the method of doing it on a stovetop and boiling it for 2-3 days on a low heat in order to extract all of the goodness out of the bones and the fat and that type of thing. And ideally what you're looking for is as it cools, as it gets cold, what you want is almost like a gelatinized base. As you heat it up, it'll warm up, but you want it to be almost like a jelly, because then you know that you're getting all of the goodness out of those bones and that bone marrow, which is good for joint health, digestion. There's all sorts of benefits. You can watch tons of videos on YouTube that tell you about the benefits of bone broth and using it as part of a healthy diet. So after doing it a couple of times on the stovetop, really didn't have very good luck getting that nice thick gelatin. And I had remembered that in the past, whenever I cook in my pressure cooker here, whenever I cook in that, making different meats, making stews, whatever I'm making in it, when I put it in the refrigerator or in the freezer afterwards, and then I take it out to use it as leftovers, it always has a rich, thick gelatin involved. And I was thinking the other day, well, why don't I just make my bone broth in my pressure cooker instead of on the stovetop? Wouldn't I consistently get that gelatin that I was looking for? So I decided to give it a try. So I went to a local meat market here around where I live. It's called Skip's Meat Market. And he has grass-fed beef bones. He has stew bones. So I bought a bunch of the soup bones off of him. I brought them home and I put them in my pressure cooker here with water. I use distilled water. That's what I prefer to use for most of my cooking. So I use distilled water. I put in a bunch of seasonings. There's parsley and celery leaf, pieces of celery in there, onion, some garlic scapes, there's some turmeric in there. I can't even think of everything I stuck in there, but a lot of different spices. Oh, salt, pepper, you know, your normal stuff here. And what I did is I pressure cooked it for 90 minutes at 10 pounds pressure, which based on the altitude where I live, 10 pounds of pressure is recommended whenever you're doing any canning. So don't know if it's different for cooking, but I just use the 10 pounds of pressure also when I cook anything. So this is the end product of that. So after the 90 minutes, I let it depressurize, opened it up. I put in the cut up carrots. I put the carrots in there, and then I turned it on without the top on it. So I turned it back on, and I let it cook on the stovetop for another 45 minutes or so to basically cook the carrots. So now it's ready to go. I can eat it as it is. I could make noodles for my husband and make it kind of into a chicken noodle soup. That's about the only way I'm going to get this in him, is to kind of call it something else. I'll eat it straight. I don't have a problem with that. I enjoy it quite a bit. But I make a nice big pot. And let me just scan down here so you can see. See that? There's that pot. I believe this is a 10-quart pot here. So it's pretty full. I'd say there's probably a good 7 quarts in there. So what I will do is I will fish out all of the bones, and then I will put this in jars label it bone broth, and I put it in the freezer. And then as I run out of bone broth, I will grab one of them out of the freezer, let it thaw up, heat it up, and eat it. So it's really quick and easy, and then I'm not making it all the time. I'm just making it on an as-needed basis. One of these recipes here with how much is in here will render me maybe, probably 7-8 quarts of bone broth, and that works out perfectly because out of that I can get maybe 3-4 days out of one. So a couple weeks worth of bone broth that I just freeze up in between making more. So I wanted to share it in case anybody wanted a really easy method of making bone broth and extracting all of the goodness out of those bones without having to wait 3 days to do it. This took me about 2.5 hours to do it. So just wanted to share, everybody. Put your comments below. Subscribe if you like my videos. And like them, share them, please. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer everybody. Thanks. Bye.